Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chonzam. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 23rd of June. One Indian soldier, two militants killed in gun battle in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Canadian Baloch hold anti-Pakistan protests for human rights violations in Balochistan. And famous Chariot festival in India begins with restrictions amid coronavirus. And now for all the details. With an increase of 14,933 new cases in the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 count reached 440,215 on Tuesday. The rise in confirmed cases on Tuesday is lower than the highest spike of 15,000 plus cases registered on Sunday. Meanwhile, Ayurvedic products giant Patanjali launched a new drug which the company claimed is an evidence-based medicine for treatment of COVID-19. India on Tuesday reported 14,933 new cases of the novel coronavirus and 312 deaths. Southern Telangana province, which recently increased testing, is seeing a surge in its cases. Meanwhile, Yoga Guru Baba Ramdev on Tuesday unveiled what he called the first Ayurvedic medicine against the coronavirus, even as the scientific community the world over is fighting hard to come up with a cure for the highly contagious disease. Ramdev's company Patanjali launched Coronil and Swasari and claimed the clinical trials on affected patients have shown 100% favorable results.
फक्र है जो औषधि कोरोना का पहला आयुर्वेदिक ट्रीटमेंट दिस इज नॉट ओनली कंट्रोल क्योर है ये उसका और बड़ी बात है कि ये कहते हुए हमें फक्र है कि इसमें 100% रिकवरी रेट है विद इन 3 to 7 days और 0% डेथ रेट है ये भी बहुत बड़ी बात है.
Meanwhile, under the third phase of the Operation Samudra Setu as part of the Vande Bharat mission, Indian naval ship INS Airavate carrying 198 Indians who were stranded owing to COVID-related travel restrictions arrived in Tuticorin from Maldives. Operation Samudra Setu is part of Vande Bharat mission to bring back citizens stranded overseas amid the coronavirus pandemic. A joint cordon and search operation by security forces was underway in Pulwama district of India's Jammu and Kashmir after an encounter broke out with militants on Tuesday morning. Two unidentified terrorists have been killed while one paramilitary CRPF personnel succumbed to his injuries.
Security forces gunned down two militants and lost one soldier in an encounter in Pulwama district of India's Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday. Two AK-47 rifles were recovered from the spot. An operation was launched in Pulwama in the wee hours of Tuesday on specific inputs, after which a gunfight ensued in the region, said officials. The joint operation of Jammu and Kashmir Police, Paramilitary Central Reserve Police Force or CRPF and Indian Army concluded with the killing of two militants and a CRPF soldier.
Today's operation in Pulwama district is another successful operation which has been carried out by police, CRP and Army together. Unfortunately, we have lost a brave head constable Kale Sunil in this operation.
On Sunday, 4 militants, including a Pakistani national, were killed in two encounters in Srinagar and Kulgam, according to police. Security officials have claimed, despite coronavirus pandemic, there has been a spike in activities by Pakistan-backed terror groups.
Baloch activists in Canada's Toronto recently carried a protest against Pakistan and China for gross human rights violations in Balochistan. The protesters condemned the senseless killings of two Baloch women by the Pakistan Army death squads, in which a 4-year-old girl was also wounded by a stray bullet.
Baloch political and human rights activists gathered in Canada's Toronto city recently to protest against Pakistan and China for gross human rights violations in Balochistan. The protesters condemned the senseless murders of two Baloch women by the Pakistan Army death squads, in which a 4-year-old girl, Bramsh, was also wounded by a stray bullet.
Baloch people are fighting against the Pakistani army, against the People's Liberation Army of China, and in which the decisions are made in Islamabad, in GHQ of Rawalpindi, where the army headquarters are, and also by the Communist Party of China. They are equally criminal partners in Pakistan's slaughter and atrocities taking place in Balochistan.
Protesters also expressed their anger at projects like China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC and control over the seaport of Gwadar.
देख सकते हैं कि जो मेन मसला है वो पाकिस्तान है, वो जो जितनी भी चोरियां हो रही हैं, लोगों को मारा जा रहा है, डेथ स्क्वाड है या आर्मी खुद करती है अपनी वर्दी में, एफसी करती है उसकी फ्रंटियर कॉर्प, उसकी एटीएफ एंटी जो टेररिस्ट फोर्स है वो करती है.
Activists have long blamed Chinese projects for the killings of Baloch civilians who raised their voice against Pakistani military operations backed by China. The activists fear China will be the real beneficiary of CPEC, which reaches out from China's Xinjiang region to Balochistan's Gwadar port.
The coronavirus pandemic and lockdowns imposed to curb its spread seems to have had a positive impact on migratory birds. Unlike humans, many bird species which migrate from parts of the world to Pakistan every year have now extended their stay due to limited human interference amid the virus measures.
Local authorities in Pakistan's southeastern Sindh province said migratory birds are flocking to wetlands in greater numbers and lingering in them for longer amid the coronavirus outbreak that has kept hunters and bird catchers confined to their homes. Each year, more than 1 million birds stop in Pakistan en route from Siberia to India. In Pakistan, approximately 40% of Sindh's wetlands are annually surveyed to gain insight into the migratory patterns and number of birds.
Surprisingly, a large number of poacher ducks have arrived at this lake this winter. And another thing I have observed, the birds have stayed longer this year, maybe due to the meager disturbance by humans due to the lockdown everywhere.
The illegal trade in the domestic markets, it's no more. Well, for speaking illegal huntings, there is not a single event during these lockdowns we have recorded. And during these lockdowns, Sindh Wildlife Department remained engaged in surveying.
Pakistan has been fluctuating between various lockdown measures since March in an effort to contain the coronavirus. The deadly virus has claimed 3,695 lives and infected up to 185,034 people so far.
Afghanistan's total cases rose to 29,481 after Ministry of Public Health on Tuesday reported 324 new positive cases of the coronavirus from 953 samples tested over the last 24 hours.
Afghanistan's Ministry of Public Health on Tuesday reported 324 new positive cases of the coronavirus from 953 samples tested over the last 24 hours. According to data by the ministry, so far 66,800 samples have been tested in the government's testing centers and there are 19,603 active COVID-19 cases in the country. Afghanistan total cases have now risen to 29,481 with 618 deaths since the outbreak of the pandemic in the country in February. The highest count was reported in Herat province with 98, followed by capital Kabul with 92 cases. Amid rising numbers, reports have surfaced that 32 ventilators were smuggled from Afghanistan to Pakistan after they were embezzled from Afghan Ministry of Public Health. There are 314 ventilators in public hospitals and at least 40 of them are not functional. Meanwhile, the report is said to be investigated.
Afghan's National Security Council has claimed that Taliban militants have carried out several attacks over the last week in 18 provinces, killing 42 civilians and injuring about 105 others. National Security Council spokesperson Javed Faisal said the Taliban has failed to deliver on promises of reducing violence against people.
Afghanistan's National Security Council spokesperson Javed Faisal claimed that Taliban militants have carried out several attacks over the last week in 18 provinces, killing 42 civilians and injuring about 105 others, while asserting that the group has failed to deliver on promises of reducing violence against the Afghan people and working for peace. Taking to Twitter, Faisal said the past week was deadliest of the past 19 years. Taliban carried out 422 attacks in 32 provinces, murdering 291 Afghan National Security Forces members and wounding 550 others. Taliban's commitment to reduce violence is meaningless and their actions inconsistent with their rhetoric on peace. The US-Taliban accord, signed in Qatar's capital of Doha at the end of February, was meant to allow American troops to gradually leave Afghanistan after 19 years of war and pave way for intra-Afghan negotiations that would shape the country's political future. Under the accord, the Taliban pledged to combat other terror groups, including Al-Qaeda, which they once harbored, and prevent terrorists from using Afghan territory to stage attacks on America. Violent clashes in Afghanistan have continued despite the signing of a peace deal between the Taliban and the US.
In a rare sight, police and some locals in Puri district in Nepal on Monday evening were seen marching on street with a leopard who was captured from a locality earlier in the day. The wild animal was tied with a rope on neck and then made walk down to a police station in Lama Bagar area, while excited locals captured the rare scene in their mobile phones. The leopard captured on Monday has been handed over to District Forest Office in Puri. Incidents of such leopard excursions are common and have become more frequent over the past few years in Nepal. India's famous annual Chariot festival began in Puri city of eastern Odisha province on Tuesday amid conditions laid by the Supreme Court of India keeping an eye on the COVID-19 outbreak in the country. Only servitors who tested negative for COVID-19 performed rituals and participated in the ceremonial procession.
Famous Jagannath Puri Chariot Festival began in Puri city of India's eastern Orissa province on Tuesday with a curfew and other restrictions amid the coronavirus outbreak. The event, which usually witnesses more than 1.5 million devotees' participation, was disallowed by Supreme Court of India earlier this month amid concerns of coronavirus spread. However, the apex court permitted the local authorities on Monday to conduct the traditional chariot procession with necessary curbs.
We have done a very good arrangement for Rath Yatra. This is a balance between allowing a full Rath Yatra and not allowing Rath Yatra at all. So we found a midway, Honorable Court found a midway.
The ceremonial event marks the journey of Hindu Lord Jagannath, his brother Balbhadra and sister Subhadra from the 12th century Jagannath temple to their maternal aunt's house situated at the Gundicha temple some 2 miles away.
हम लोग घर से दर्शन कर रहे हैं। बहुत सौभाग्य की बात है कि ये यहाँ पे इतना अच्छा कल तक डिसीजन सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने लिया था कि रथ यात्रा नहीं होगा तो हम सब उदास थे पर अचानक से फिर से सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अपना डिसीजन बदला।
Devotees pulled 3 decorated wooden chariots carrying the deities with thick ropes amid beating drums and chanting of hymns. All those who will be pulling the chariot have to be tested negative for coronavirus within the last 72 hours. The chariot return is held 8 days after the annual chariot festival.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.